पाश्चात्य Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ravinder Guru. So, continuing our discussion from the 7th chapter of the first canto entitled The Son of Drona Punished. So, when Arjuna is able to retract both the Brahmastra and he arrests Ashwatthama, then Lord Krishna, he encourages Arjuna. In the 35th verse, Krishna is saying that, "O Arjuna, you should not show mercy by releasing this relative of a Brahma Bandhu, for he has killed innocent boys in their sleep." And the last verse that we discussed, 36, this is Lord Krishna saying that a person who knows the principle of religion does not kill an enemy who is careless, intoxicated, insane, asleep, afraid, or devoid of his chariot. Nor does he kill a boy, a woman, a foolish creature, or a surrendered soul. So when the Kshatriyas, they are having this war, so this is the rule, this is the principle by which they abide and they do not attack or kill the opposition or the enemy with such situations. When the enemy is careless, that means you cannot attack without informing the enemy or without cautioning him. Or if the enemy is in intoxicated state, he is not in his normal state, or he is insane, or he is asleep. So the boys were all sleeping, or afraid, or even devoid of his chariot. Nor can he kill a boy, a woman, a foolish creature, or a surrendered soul. So these were the principles which were to be followed while there was war. But Ashwatthama did not observe any. So it does not deserve any mercy or any pardon. So Krishna is recommending Arjuna to execute him, to kill him, to immediately punish him for his wrong acts. And Prabhupada gives a very interesting statement. He says, violence carried out on the religious principle is far superior to so-called non-violence. So the religious principle is established by the Supreme Lord himself. And here, Krishna himself is recommending to kill. So violence carried out on the religious principles and on the recommendation of the authority, Prabhupada says, is far superior to so-called non-violence. We'll continue from verse number 37. Sva-prāṇān para-prāṇaiḥ prapuṣṇāti aghṛaṇaḥ khalaḥ tad-vadhas śreyo yad-doṣād yāty adhaḥ pumān. So Krishna is continuing to give the religious quotes, the principles. He says, a cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence at the cost of others. Sva-prāṇān para-prāṇaiḥ. One who maintains his own existence at the cost of others. Deserves to be killed for his own well-being. Otherwise, he will go down by his own actions. Let us understand this principle. It is not for normal person, it is for a cruel person. It is said a cruel and a wretched person. Yes, the words used here is aghṛṇaḥ and khalaḥ. Aghṛṇaḥ means shameless and khalaḥ means wretched. Tad-vadhas, vadha means killing of him, is he śreyaḥ. Tad-vadhas, those who are aghṛṇaḥ and khalaḥ. Aghṛaṇaḥ means one who is shameless, and khalaḥ means one who is wretched or evil. Khalaḥ or khalu is evil. For such evil and wretched person, the recommendation is what is śreyo is tad-vadhas. one should immediately kill him. What is the recommendation? Krishna gives the same recommendation in Bhagavad Gita. What does he call such a person? In the first chapter, when Arjuna is showing reluctance and grief. Yes, Sonika.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, atatai.
Yes, very good. Right word, atatai. An atatai must immediately be killed. So an atatai is both. He is shameless and he is wretched. And there Krishna is saying that immediately such person should be killed. Otherwise, he will go down by his own actions. A life is just punishment for a person who cruelly and shamelessly lives at the cost of another's life. Political morality is to punish a person by the death sentence in order to save a cruel person from going to hell. That a murderer is condemned to be death sentenced by the state is good for the culprit, because in the next life, he will not have to suffer for his act of murder. A very important principle. That if someone commits a mistake, or someone commits a crime, or he commits some very heinous act or abominable act, if he is not suitably punished, what is the outcome? That in his next life or in his successive life, he will continue to be punished. Such a death sentence for a murderer is the lowest possible punishment offered to him. And it is said in the smṛti-śāstras that men who are punished by the king on the principles of a life or a life are purified of all their sins. So much so that they may be eligible to be promoted to the planets of heaven. That is according to the smṛti-śāstra. In particular, the smṛti-śāstra for governing the human race is the Manu smṛti. Prabhupada is mentioning here. According to Manu, the great author of civil codes and religious principles, even the killer of an animal is to be considered a murderer, because animal food is never meant for the civilized man, whose prime duty is to prepare himself for going back to Godhead. He says that in the act of killing an animal, there is a regular conspiracy by the party of sinners. Who says? Pranam, who says?
Krishna Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada giving this purport.
No, you are not chanting. Prabhupada is quoting whom?
Manu.
Manu. Prabhupada is very, very emphatically giving the reason that those who were animal killers, they are also murderers. How and what is the basis? Prabhupada is quoting the evidence from the Manu Smriti, Maharaj Manu. He says that the act of killing an animal, there is a regular conspiracy by the party of sinners, and that all of them are liable to be punished as murderer, exactly like a party of conspirators who kill a human being combinedly. The same thing, six persons. First is he who gives permission, he who kills the animal, he who sells the slaughtered animal, he who cooks the animal, he who administers distribution of the foodstuff, and at the last, he who eats such cooked animal food are all murderers, and all of them are liable to be punished by the laws of the nature. Very clear. He said that all of them, so in the entire cycle, and at last, he who eats such cooked food animals are all murderers, and all of them are liable to be punished by the law of nature. No one can create a living being despite all advancement of material science. And therefore, no one has the right to kill a living being by one's independent whims. For the animal eaters, the scriptures have sanctioned restricted animal sacrifices only. And such sanctions are there just to restrict the opening of slaughterhouses and not to encourage animal killing. The procedure under which animal sacrifice is allowed in the scripture is good, both for the animal sacrificed and the animal eaters. It is good for the animal in a sense that the sacrificed animal is at once promoted to the human form of life after being sacrificed at the altar, and the animal eater is saved from grosser type of sin, namely eating meat supplied by organized slaughterhouses, which are ghastly places for breeding all kinds of material afflictions to society, country, and people in general. The material world is itself a place where always full of anxieties, and by the encouragement of animal slaughter, the whole atmosphere becomes polluted more and more by war, pestilence, famine, and many other unwanted calamities. Prabhupada is giving a very, very emphatic purport. What are the unwanted calamities? One such unwanted calamity was COVID, where the human race was completely put into such serious affliction, and hardly anyone could find a solution how to stop it. And what is the reason for that? Is this uncontrolled animal slaughter. Prabhupada writes in one of his purports, at the time of COVID, I could clearly see it. I'll share that purport with you. A very simple principle is there. If you kill or slaughter anyone, if you take away anyone else's life for your own sense enjoyment or for your own selfish motive, the law of nature is not going to leave you. It is going to punish you, whoever you know. And that punishment will come in the future lives. When it will come, how it will come, in what form it can come, no one knows. And no one has any control over it. Yeah, Manu Ram Prabhu. Show the verse 14.16. Bhagavad Gita 14.16. Very clearly I could see when the COVID was there. Prabhupada gave this purports in 1960s and COVID came in 2019. Come down. Come down. Prabhupada says, wait, the result of pious action is pure. Okay, let us see the translation and then go further. The result of pious action is pure and it is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in misery. And action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. So animal killing is very much in the mode of ignorance. Prabhupada will speak about it. Come down. Come down, let us further down in the purport. 1 minute. Wait. Here. As far as the mode of ignorance is concerned, the performer is without knowledge. And therefore, all his activities result in present misery, and afterwards he will go towards the animal life. Animal life is always miserable, although under the spell of illusionary energy Maya. And animals do not understand this. Slaughtering poor animals is also due to the mode of ignorance. See the point. The animal killers do not know that in the future, the animal will have a body suitable to kill them. So what was COVID? It is a bacteria, it is a virus. And it came in such a body that it killed millions across the world. That is the law of nature. In human society, if one kills a man, he has to be hanged. That is the law of the state. Because of ignorance, people do not perceive that there is a complete state controlled by the Supreme Lord. Every living creature is a son of the Supreme Lord, and he does not tolerate even an ant being killed. One has to pay for it. So the world paid the cost. But sadly, no one has learned from this grossest type of sin. So indulgence in animal killing for the taste of the tongue is the grossest kind of ignorance. A human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. If one indulges in meat eating anyway, it is to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and is making his future very dark. And then Prabhupada continues to speak. So you can stop. Here Prabhupada is saying that in the future the animal will have a suitable body to kill. And that is the law of nature. So Prabhupada is trying to save this blind society, who is, as previous verses Krishna was saying, who are unmattam pramattam, who are mad after sense gratification. And one of the grossest sin in sense gratification is animal killing. And in the course of animal killing, one is condemned. So here Prabhupada is saying that such a person who has slaughtered 5 innocent boys or children, he should not be shown mercy. Mercy is not to allow him to suffer life after life. But to punish him, if when he gets the proper punishment, then he can be released from the sin. And to the extent that he can even be promoted to the heavenly planet. So Prabhupada is giving the details from Manu Samhita and how what Krishna is speaking is the perfect principle of religion. So Prabhupada is saying here that the material world is itself a place full of anxieties, and by encouragement of animal slaughter, the whole atmosphere becomes polluted more and more by war, pestilence, famines, and many other unwanted calamities. So all these unwanted calamities which are coming, for which man has no control, the result of it is because of merciless killing of the innocent animals, the helpless animals. Pratishrutam cha bhavata panchalya shanvato mama aharishe sirastasya yaste manini putraha. Furthermore, I have personally heard your promise. You promised Draupadi. Furthermore, I have personally heard you promise Draupadi that you will bring forth the head of the killer of her sons. tad-vadhas papa. Here comes atatai atma-bandhuha bharatuscha vipriyam vira vetavan kulapumsana. This man is an assassin. Of your family members. Not only that, but he has also dissatisfied his master. We saw that Duryodhana, his master, did not approve. He is but burned remnant of his family. Kill him immediately. The word used is tad-asau vadhyatam papa. Immediately kill this sinful person who is a killer, and his atatai is an assassin, and atma-bandhuha, that he is the killer of your sons, and bharatuscha vipriyan vira, and he has also displeased his master. Bharatu is the master. So Krishna is encouraging Arjuna not to release him or not to show any mercy upon him. The son of Dronacharya is condemned here as the burnt remnant of his family. The good name of Dronacharya was very much respected, although he joined the enemy camp. The Pandavas held him always in respect, and Arjuna saluted him before beginning the fight. There was nothing wrong in that way. But the son of Dronacharya degraded himself by committing acts which were never done by the Dvijas. Dvijas means the Brahmanas. Dvijas. Ja means to take birth, and Dvi means second birth. The second birth is the birth, which is the birth of the Upnayan Samskar, so that they can study the Shastras or Vedas. And that privilege is with the Brahmanas or the twice born higher caste. Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya, committed murder by killing the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi, by which he dissatisfied his master Duryodhana, who never approved of the heinous act of killing the 5 sleeping sons of the Pandavas. This means that the Ashwathama became an assaulter of Arjuna's own family members, and thus he was liable to be punished by him. In the Shastra, he who attacks without notice or kills from behind, or who sets fire to another's house or kidnaps one wife, is condemned to death. That is atatai. Krishna reminded Arjuna of these facts so that he might take notice of them and do the needful. Prabhupada's expertise. Krishna reminded Arjuna of these facts so that he might take notice of them and do the needful. Manu. Sorry. Okay. Going further. Suta uvacha evam parakshita dharmam partha krishnena chodita naichha dantim guru sutam yadyapi atmahanam maha. Sud Goswami said that although Krishna, who was examining Arjuna in religion, encouraged him to kill the son of Dronacharya, Arjuna, a great soul, did not like the idea of killing him, although Ashwathama was a heinous murder of Arjuna's family member. Why Krishna had to say so? Because Krishna knew the inner intent of Arjuna. So here's the Goswami saying, although Krishna, who was examining Arjuna in religion, encouraged him because he knew that Arjuna was not inclined to kill Ashwathama. Why? Only because of his love and respect towards Dronacharya, and Ashwathama being the son of Dronacharya. You see what it means to really have respect. It is very, very commendable if you see the character of Arjuna and the Pandavas. They never at any stage doubted the authority and the integrity of either Drona or Bhishma. Although both of them, they were not just favoring, they were representing the opposing side. And all the atrocities and the injustices done to the Pandavas, all the time these elders were there in the assembly of Kauravas, and they never objected. And now they are there to fight with them to kill the Pandava side. But still, the respect and the gratitude in the heart of Arjuna and the Pandava is not affected. It is extremely impossible. If someone you respect, and when he is there and he does not give you support when you need, what to say of support if he opposes you, or he represents the party who is doing injustice to you? What will be our response? So see the gratitude, such deep gratitude is there in the heart of Arjuna. Now Krishna knows that because of Arjuna's gratitude in his heart for his teacher Drona, he is not inclined to punish Ashwatthama, even though Ashwatthama has committed such heinous act of killing their sons, or kidnapping Draupadi, administering poison, setting the house on fire, everything. Whatever may have happened, whatever was the result, but they are not inclined, or they are not, there is no change in their heart. You see, that speaks of such high respect, which is not affected by situation or circumstance. That is deeply on the spiritual. That is what is expected of a disciple towards the spiritual master. It is not that the spiritual master gives you favor, or he supports you, or you say, very good, well done, my son. No. We see from this episode, and here also it is said, we saw the episode in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is saying, Guru ni hatva ni mahanubhava śreyo bhaktum bhaiksham api haloko. But for me, what is shreyas, what is better, that I go and beg rather than kill. Guru na hatva ni mahanubhava, and all these great personalities who are my teachers and grandfathers. What to speak of teachers and grandfather, even the son of the teacher who has committed such an abominable act, Arjuna is not inclined to kill him. And Krishna knows the heart. And Krishna is here. He is in a way encouraging Arjuna not to release him. So Prabhupada takes up the same feeling of Arjuna. He says Arjuna was a great soul undoubtedly, which is proved here also. He is encouraged herein personally by the Lord to kill the son of Drona. But Arjuna considers this son of a great teacher should be spared, for he happens to be the son of Dronacharya. Even though he is an unworthy son, having done all sorts of heinous acts whimsically for no one's benefit. Lord Shri Krishna encouraged Arjuna outwardly just to test Arjuna's sense of duty. Very interesting. It is not that Arjuna was incomplete in the sense of his duty, nor was Lord Krishna unaware of Arjuna's sense of duty. But Lord Krishna puts many of his pure devotees to the test just to magnify their sense of duty. The gopis were put to such test as well. Prahlad Maharaj was also put to such a test. All pure devotees come out successfully in their respective test by the Lord. So you can have some contemplation that where were such tests, such Prabhupada was severely tested many times. And his entire life, before he could leave for America, he had such difficult situation. No one else would have continued to pursue in such a situation, even after he reached America. The Prabhupada is saying here that all pure devotees are put to such test. Shri Krishna puts many of his pure devotees to test just to magnify their sense of duty. And all pure devotees come out successful in the respective test by the Lord. Athopetya swasivinam Govinda priya sartihi Nyavedaya tam pariyayi shochante atmajam hatam. After reaching his own camp, Arjuna, along with his dear friend and charioteer Shri Krishna, entrusted the murder unto his dear wife, who was lamenting for her murdered son. So Arjuna captured Ashwatthama and he brought Ashwatthama before Draupadi. The transcendental relation of Arjuna with Krishna is that of the dearmost friendship. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself has claimed Arjuna as his dearmost friend, which is the verse where Lord Krishna himself has claimed Arjuna to be his dearmost friend. Yes, Sonika?
Prabhuji, whole verse I don't remember. Sakha Cheti, Krishna has told.
Yeah. Yes. Bhakto si mein sakha cheti, rahasyam hi tad uttamam. Very good. Sa evayam mayate adya yoga prokta puratana. Bhakto si mein sakha cheti, rahasyam hi tad uttamam. Very good. This is in the 4th chapter. Okay. Many other places also. Where else? Then you have not understood Bhagavad Gita. Not an iota of Bhagavad Gita is not. Bhagavad Gita means to know the loving relationship between Krishna and Arjuna. And through Arjuna, Krishna's love for everyone in this human form of life. Where else? Quickly, so many places. You gave one good example. There are many more. All are blank-faced. Bolo, Manoram. You don't see love of Krishna anywhere in Bhagavad Gita. So for so many years we have studied Bhagavad Gita. Not able to see Krishna's love for Arjuna.
In one translation, I remember that Arjuna glorified Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he was not just only his relative and friend, but was a devotee also.
That is the entire range of prayer. Param Brahma, Param Dhamam, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhu. Ahustvam Rishya Sarve Dev Rishi Naradas Tata Asito Devilo Vyasa Swayam Chema Vrimishi. No, but that verse does not fit in here. And Krishna says, Arjuna says, Sarvam Etan Ritan Manne Yan Maam Vadasi Keshava. But here it is being asked that Krishna considered Arjuna. Krishna is himself saying that Arjuna is his dear friend. Very dear friend of Arjuna. Krishna is Arjuna. Where Krishna is claiming in Bhagavad Gita that Arjuna is his very dear friend. One good example was given by Swanika. Why are you taking so much time? That means that portion of Bhagavad Gita has not touched your heart. What have you understood Bhagavad Gita? You have not understood Bhagavad Gita. What are you thinking, Dayashi? So many years, more than 10 years, you are hearing Bhagavad Gita.
In one verse, like 9.1, the Krishna says that because of you, I am speaking. For your benefit, I am speaking.
That is in which chapter?
9.1, 9.1.
Open 9.1. You're all nonsense. What does 9.1 say? You don't know 9.1? Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anusuyave. Where is he speaking there? Heart is not in Bhagavad Gita. Heart is in this material world of Maya. You know what is your bank balance and what is your what property you want or what car you want or whatever you want from here. Open 9.1. Where is in 9.1? And now you have switched off your video. Switch on your video. बोलो भाई बाकी लोग क्या सोच रहे हैं? Where is Krishna telling Arjuna that you are my very dear to me? Specifically, he's telling Arjuna. I will not go forward. What is the point in studying Shastra if you do not know what is the purpose of Shastra? That is why he selected only Arjuna to speak Bhagavad Gita. He did not select anyone else.
So the translation is like this. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be realized of the miseries of the material existence."
Where is he saying that you are very dear to me? Or I am very dear to you? He's saying you are not envious of me. Where is he speaking about? That Prabhupada does not know. Prabhupada is saying that Arjuna is not envious, so Prabhupada is Krishna is giving Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada is saying here that Arjuna is very dear to Krishna. See? In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself has claimed Arjuna as his dearmost. Is that the verse? बोलो, बाकी लोग किधर है? Your answer is not the correct answer. It is 10.1. Read 10.1. Are Bhagavad Gita is in your hand, na? Read 10.1. Bhuyeva mahabaho shunu me paramam vacha yatte ham priyamanaya. How can you forget this verse? That means you have not understood Bhagavad Gita. Not an iota of Bhagavad Gita has entered into the heart. Yatte ham priyamanaya. Because I consider you to be my dearmost. Priyamanaya. Vakshyami. I will speak this most confidential knowledge to you. Read the translation.
Translation is like this. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty Arjuna, because you are my dear friend."
Yeah, this is because you are my dear friend. Yatteham priyamanaya.
For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already.
What knowledge? This is love. Bhagavad Gita is the knowledge of love, Krishna. It does not enter into the heart because the heart is filled by all material aspirations and all material objectives. It will not enter. Yatteham priyamanaya. What a fortune for Arjuna. So many people consider Krishna to be dear. Oh, that is okay. All devotees, Krishna is very dear. But what about that devotee for whom Krishna considers to be his dearmost? That is Arjuna. For him, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. So every living being is related with the Supreme Lord by some sort of affectionate relationship. Either as a servant or as a friend or as parent or as an object of conjugal love. Anyone at all can thus enjoy the company of the Lord in the spiritual realm if it desires it sincerely and tries for the process of Bhakti Yoga. So this is not there in the heart. There is no such desire. And the desire is not there, the attempt, how can there be any sincere attempt? Tatharhatam pashuvat vashbandham avan mukham karma jugupshitena nirikshaya Krishna parkartam guru sutam vamasvabhava kripaya nanamacha. Sut Goswami said, Srila Sut Goswami said, Draupadi then saw Ashwathama, who was bound with ropes like an animal and silent for having enacted the most inglorious murder. Due to her female nature and due to her being naturally good and well behaved, she showed him due respect as a Brahmana. You see the culture. So Arjuna has not directly executed or killed Ashwatthama. He has captured him and brought before Draupadi. And we see the response of Draupadi Devi, that she did not like Ashwatthama to be bound in ropes. And due to her feminine nature, female nature, and due to her being naturally good and well behaved, she showed him respect as a Brahmana. Ashwatthama was condemned by the Lord himself, and he was treated by Arjuna just like a culprit, not like the son of a Brahmana or teacher. But when he was brought before Srimati Draupadi, she, although bereaved due to the murder of her sons, and although the murderer was present before her, would not withdraw the due respect generally offered to a Brahmana or to the son of a Brahmana. This is due to her mild nature as a woman. Women as a class are like boys, and therefore they have no discriminatory power like that of a man. Ashwatthama proved himself to be an unworthy son of Dronacharya or a Brahmana, and for this reason he was condemned by the greatest authority, Lord Shri Krishna. And yet a mild woman could not withdraw her natural courtesy for a Brahmana. She could not withdraw her natural courtesy for a Brahmana. In our case, immediate withdrawal is there. Anything, any instance, any one situation where we feel dissatisfied, immediately what happens? Withdrawal. And what is the withdrawal extent? Complete withdrawal. Or there is envy or enmity in the heart. But we see the glory of the Pandavas. And in our heart, her respect for this Brahmana, although he killed her 5 sons, did not diminish. So this is called samskar. This is the training and culture. So such training and culture was there. So these were the proper Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas means they are governed by the Brahmanas. Even to date in a Hindu family, a woman shows proper respect to a Brahmana caste, however fallen and heinous a Brahman Bandhu may be. But the men have begun to protest against the Brahma Bandhus who are born in the families of good Brahmanas but by actions are less than Shudras. The specific word used in the shloka is Vama Swabhava. Mild and gentle by nature, a good man or woman accepts anything very easily. But a man of average intelligence does not do so. Prabhupada's purport. Prabhupada says a good man or a woman accepts anything very easily. But a man of average intelligence does not do so. But anyway, we should not give up our reason and discriminatory power just to be gentle. One must have good discriminatory power to judge a thing on its own, on its merit. We should not follow the mild nature of a woman and thereby accept that which is not genuine. Ashwatthama may be respected by a good-natured woman, but that does not mean that he is as good as a genuine Brahmana. Uvacha cha asahanti asya bandhana anayanam sati mucyatam esha mucyatamesha brahmano nitaram guru. She could not tolerate Ashwatthama being bound by ropes, and being a devoted lady, she said, release him, for he is a Brahmana, our spiritual master. As soon as Ashwatthama was brought before Draupadi, she thought it intolerable that a Brahmana should be arrested like a culprit and brought before her in that condition, especially when the Brahmana happened to be a teacher's son. Arjuna arrested Ashwatthama knowing perfectly well that he was the son of Dronacharya. Krishna also knew him to be so, but both of them condemned the murderer without consideration of his being the son of Brahmana. According to revealed scriptures, a teacher or a spiritual master is liable to be rejected if he proves himself unworthy of the position of a guru or spiritual master. Give some examples. What Srila Prabhupada is giving the principle. The teacher or a spiritual master is to be liable to be rejected. Give some example. You are hearing? So please answer. Yes, there, Shilpa.
So the spiritual master of Bali Maharaj, Shukracharya.
Very good. Very good example. Spiritual master of Bali Maharaj Shukracharya. And Shukracharya tried to prevent Bali Maharaj for giving charity to Vamandev. Very good. Okay. Very good. Good answer. According to revealed scriptures, a teacher or spiritual master is liable to be rejected if he proves himself unworthy of the position of a guru or spiritual master. We will not decide that. Don't think that we will decide. A guru is called also an acharya, or a person who has personally assimilated all the essence of Shastras and has helped his disciple to adopt the ways. Ashwatthama failed to discharge the duties of a Brahmana or teacher, and therefore he was liable to be rejected from the exalted position of a Brahmana. On this consideration, both Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna were right in condemning Ashwatthama. But to a good lady like Draupadi, the matter was considered not from the angle of Shastric vision, but as a matter of custom. By custom, Ashwatthama was offered the same respect as offered to his father. It was so because generally the people accept the son of a Brahmana as a real Brahmana. By sentiment only. Factually, the matter is different. A Brahmana is accepted on the merit of qualifications and not on the merit of simply being the son of the Brahmana. But in spite of all this, Draupadi desired that Ashwatthama be at once released. And it was all the same a good sentiment for her. This means that a devotee of Lord can tolerate all sort of tribulations personally. But still such a devotee are never unkind to others, even to the enemy. These are the characteristics of one who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Okay, I'll stop here. I won't be able to complete this chapter. This has further, there are 14 more verses. So we'll continue tomorrow. But please keep noting the principles, the teachings from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and the principles which are coming in these episodes. Very, very striking principle of what it means to have respect or gratitude in the heart. Not to change with our own raga and dvesha. Every time we are affected by our own raga and dvesha, we try to judge the person based on how he is responding to me, whether he is inclined favorably to me or not. And if any act he does which we don't like, then we think that he is liable to be rejected. But we see the character of even Arjuna. He did not kill. Although he vowed to Draupadi Devi that I will slay the person and bring the head in front of you. But he was hesitating, and Krishna knew it. Like Arjuna was hesitating to begin the war. He was not inclined to shoot arrows on the opposing party. And here, Krishna sees the heart of Arjuna, and Arjuna brings Ashwatthama to the feet of Draupadi Devi to decide what to do. And we will see how Draupadi Devi will respond further. Okay, I'll stop here. Is there any question or discussion that you might ask or participate? If we don't discuss, everything remains in the book. Nothing touches our heart. I'm very shocked. You don't know even that in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is telling Arjuna that you are very dear to me. Actually, Bhagavad Gita is all about Krishna's love for Arjuna. Through Bhagavad Gita is a song. Bhagavad Gita. This is the song of love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes? Hare
Krishna, Babaji.
Hare Krishna.
So, Babaji, in this last verse, Prabhupada say that we should use our discretion.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
what, how Draupadi had, forgiven him.
Yeah.
And then in the last verse that we took, so there Prabhupada is justifying.
Yeah.
So how do we reconcile these two standards?
We cannot reconcile anything, to be honest. Today morning, in Mangala Aarti, some devotees come, elderly devotees, Nilambar Prabhu, and there are some others, elderly devotees, senior devotees in terms of age. And they every day come after the Mangala Aarti, they come to the room where I have office and they discuss Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So initially for a few minutes I am there. But today they were discussing the story of Maharaj Nripa. You know Maharaj Nripa in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Most of you know about the story of Maharaj Nriga. It is Nripa, but it is sometimes mentioned as Nriga, who became a lizard. You don't know? Once there was a king who was very, very religious and very charitably disposed. So he used to give a lot of charity to Brahmanas. Huge, amount of charity to Brahmanas. So once he gave to the Brahmanas many, many cows, many, many millions of cows. And not just the cows. The cows were very well decorated with gold and very costly ornaments and painted horn and all with paraphernalia. And what happened that one of the cows that he gave in charity, that cow from the herd that was donated to the Brahmana came back to the king's cows herd.
Yeah.
And when next time he gave charity, so the same cow was given to another Brahmana, where the king had no control or intent or any information. And when the other Brahmana received this cow, the first Brahmana objected to it. He said, how can you donate, how can you give my property to someone else? And when this was brought to the notice of the king, so the king, he requested both the Brahmanas that kindly settle down, and in lieu of one cow, I give you both of you 1 million of cows each. And both refused. And for that fault, which inadvertently he has nothing to do, in his next birth, he became a lizard. And he was lying in the well. So today morning they were all discussing. My logic, उसमें राजा का क्या दोष है? तो गाय अपने आप आई है, वो थोड़ी पकड़ के लाए, खींच के लाए। और वो एक गाय के बदले 1 लाख गाय दे रहे हैं, अब क्या बात है? ब्राह्मण मान नहीं रहे। और ब्राह्मण का दोष लग गया। क्या दोष लग गया कि he had to become lizard, lying in the well. But what happens is, even if he becomes a lizard, Krishna comes and rescues him. The Prabhupada is giving very strong statement there that no one should take any property of the Brahmana. If one takes the property of the Brahmana, Prabhupada says 10 generations before and 10 generations after. When they read this, I said it is 21 generation. Of course, the present generation is doomed. They'll all go to hell. And then they were saying, क्या इसमें ISKCON की प्रॉपर्टी क्या ब्राह्मण नहीं है? ये प्रभुपाद की प्रॉपर्टी क्या ब्राह्मण की प्रॉपर्टी नहीं है? What will happen to people those who are taking advantage? So I told them that dharma satatva nihitam guhaya. On our own, we cannot ascertain that what is the principle, to what extent it is applicable, and how. That is why if we can understand and apply, then why we will require a guru? Simple for us is, whatever the guru or the spiritual authority says, you execute, you are absorbed. Finish. You see that? In the beginning, we read that. We read that statement in the purport. That violence done on the authority of the spiritual master or a spiritual teacher is far greater than non-violence. How will we justify this? How can we justify this?
Yeah, difficult. Accepting that, okay, you follow Guru's order.
Simple. If you follow the authority, you are absorbed. Do you know the principle of holder and holder in due course? You must be knowing, Mother Swarup Prabhu.
What is that, Prabhuji? Can you repeat?
The principle of holder and holder in due course.
Holder and holder, because yes, it comes in the legal.
Yeah, in the legal part. If the holder has a defective title, but in good intent, the holder in due course has given him the full consideration and has taken the title, the defect does not pass to him.
Yes.
The defect stays with the holder. If the spiritual master gives any wrong instruction, or he does not follow the principles, then he forces his disciple, and the disciple follows because in good intent. And the fault is not on the follower, the fault is at the part of the teacher. He will fault. Not easy. We cannot decide. We cannot discriminate. You see entire Bhagavad Gita. You see entire first chapter, second chapter. One purport he will say Prabhupada is appreciating Arjuna. Second purport Prabhupada is condemning Arjuna. That is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. The first chapter and the second chapter. So we cannot draw the line. So we require Acharya. We require teacher. Who can guide us? What to do in what situation?
Yes.
Otherwise, we will misapply. Can we have that kind of consciousness? What Draupadi Devi is exhibiting? Can we ever imagine of that kind of
Magnanimity.
quality in our heart? Her 5 innocent children were killed by Ashwathama, and she is feeling pain to see Ashwathama captive. We will only have relief in pain if we see such a person is hanged. Then how can we talk about this? So the only way is to take consultation. Even here, Arjuna, he did not decide. He did not execute. Even after Krishna told him to kill. But Arjuna is not having the strength enough. So he took the matter to the court of Draupadi Devi. And let her decide. We will see. There are some 14 more verses still left. And we will see how Krishna will reconcile the situation.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
He will do justice to everything. He will, of course, he is the holder of principle of religion. So the religion will be upheld, and you will see how he will pacify everyone. He will pacify Draupadi Devi also, and he will see to it that Arjuna performs his duty. Very interesting purport Prabhupada was saying. Prabhupada was saying that the Krishna tests his pure devotee to see the sense of duty. So there are tests for both Arjuna and Draupadi Devi. Krishna has put a new test. Actually, pure devotees are tested. Not neophytes are tested. What neophytes can be tested? There is only one result. They will miserably fail. So what test can be given to them? In the morning, I was discussing with one devotee. He was saying mixed bhakti is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Mixed bhakti. One is not on the pure platform. What can he follow? Hardly anything. That is why the character is coming out in such a situation. And how glorious is the character of the Pandavas. Why Krishna was so dear to them? Or Krishna considered them so dear? Because of their glorious qualities. Even in the most adverse of situations, their faith, their trust in Krishna was never ever affected. Okay, thank you very much. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Purport ki jai, Hare Hare.